Hey guys, what's up? And welcome to another episode of Elijah's Productivity Hacks. So today I was talking with a friend and she has been struggling to manage her day and figure out how to stay on top of things, how to keep track of things, and that overwhelming feeling of I didn't do enough, what the hell did I do today? So I talked to her through my process. I thought I'd make a quick video about it. And I'll show you guys how I do things and how I structure my day. So it's pretty simple. I use spreadsheets for almost everything. And this is what my day looks like. Let's delete that for now. This is it. It's not a fancy tool. It's just a spreadsheet with today and tomorrow. So what happens is the night before, so every night, I will come in here and I'll map out my day. So the first thing I'll do is I'll open up my calendar and I'll put in my meetings. So let's say I have an 11 o'clock, so coffee with Joe. And then I've got a lunch meeting. So lunch with Leroy. That's gonna take an hour. And then I can put in some staples. So like typically I leave the office, make dinner. And I'm typically try to read and then go to lights out. And often I'll just leave the stuff that I do on a recurring basis, just leave it in here and it'll kind of be pre-templated for me. So here I'll do get ready for bed. That's like brushing my teeth and all that kind of stuff. Typically I get up around 6:30, so wake up. And it's a bit to wake up, and then I shower, leave for office, and let's say I've got a phone call with Frank, but we'll put this down. Let's say from the calendar it was down here or something. Okay, so at this point I've got the basic structure of what tomorrow looks like for me. And I've got some kind of gaps in time and what I want to do. Well, firstly, I need to budget for time. I guess that wouldn't be in here. So I need to budget for time for travel. And while it doesn't always take 30 minutes, the kind of rule of thumb I do is 30 minutes for any travel. And if I get there early, I can prep. If I get there, if it doesn't take the full amount of time, I can work on something else. But just having the mental blocks of 30 minutes, which is roughly a Pomodoro, we can talk more about that later, is helpful. And allocating for that time means that you're not always rushing and feeling behind. So here I'll be leave for office, leave for coffee, and then leave for lunch. Like walk to lunch probably, head back to office, and then I would leave the office around here. So already, just with my meetings, we're only down to, that's 2.5 hours, another hour and a half, and some hours down here. So in the mornings, I try to do my creative stuff. And so at this point, I would go to my weekly plan, figure out what I'm trying to prioritize, what I really want to work on, what needs to happen, and I'd make some notes. So I need to work on client work, specifically like client 1. Let's call them, well, let's just do that, client 1. And I probably need to do, well, we'll just leave it like that. I need to clean out inbox. I need to do some BD and then work on side project 1. And okay, so specifically I'll list out what needs to happen. So do designs, do code review. Inbox is pretty clear, business development. So let's be specific. Reach out to approximately 10 people from my network about the BD intros. And then for the side project, I need to build, or let's do design landing page, build basic HTML, CSS for landing page. Okay, so that's more or less it, right? We've got some stuff that we need to do. I always do the kind of chore-like tasks towards the end of the day. I try to keep my brain power and my decision-making abilities for the morning. Cleaning out my inbox is more or less, oh, that's not copying. That's weird. Won't copy. Okay. Cleaning out my inbox is pretty basic work, so I'm not going to do that in the morning. I want to keep my brain power for either client stuff or my side project work. So now let's say I want to do a little bit of side project stuff before 9. I like to do some of that early in the day. Work on side project. So I'll do it like this. We'll do design. And we say we still need this stuff, so we're gonna still leave that over here. And we'll spend an hour on that. And then we'll do client number 1, design work. Right, and you know, it depends on how much time you need to spend on things. So then we've got kind of this break where we're gonna be doing some lunch meetings and things like that. Now, do I wanna do client work or do I wanna do sales stuff, or what do I wanna do? Well, I'm gonna do this because I think this requires more thought. Client work is pretty straightforward, code review. It's a very task-oriented thing, whereas this, you need to think about who you're gonna talk to, how you're gonna be creative in the message, and that's probably gonna take a little bit of time. Got this odd gap here, so I'm just gonna leave that for right now. And then we'll say code review from here to here. Go back up here, copy this, and update the format. Just call it code review instead of do. And then we can work on fun stuff for the rest of the day. Side project 1 for, we'll just call that flex. Often I build in padding for catch up, unfinished work, flexibility, and schedule. So if something ends up taking too long, like my inbox, which often takes an hour, this can shift down. It just gives me a little more padding. And I'll probably take this spare time and make it a flex time as well, so that if I'm running late from meetings, this can shift. Now I can delete this, and this is my plan for tomorrow, hypothetically, right? So the real benefit of doing this is, firstly, it makes you think about the things you need to do, but respective of time. So rather than making a to-do list and saying, oh, I need to do all these things, when you do that, you don't think about how long each task will take. But when you're forced to put it on a very basic, simple calendar like this, you have to think about it in a different way. And you realize quite quickly, often I'll do this and I'll write down the 20 things that I want to do, and I'll start putting them in 30-minute blocks, and I'll say, wow, this is way too much to do today. There's no way that this is going to happen. And so, the benefit of doing this is that you actually realize that you don't jam in too much work into a given day, and you really map out what you can do. But you also end up prioritizing the things that have to be done, that you know you need to do. And so those come first onto the calendar. And then the final benefit is that when the day's over, you feel good about what happened. If you woke up and you're like, I have 20 things I need to do, I'm gonna do them all today, and you got 3 of them done, you feel terrible. But if you said, I have 20 things I have to do, I'm going to do these 3 today, that's the plan, and then you do them, you feel great. It's the same result, right? 17 things are still undone. But here you have a plan and you're working your plan to get towards your end goal, and you know that it's unrealistic to do everything, so you prioritize what you do want to do. And the feeling, the positivity, like all of that is so much better when you plan out your day. And then the last thing is that you really start getting insight into how long things take for you to do. Going through your inbox, you might think it only takes 15 minutes. Often it takes an hour, at least for me, to really go through my inbox. And that's something that needs to happen, something I need to do, but I shouldn't be doing it every day or every morning and starting with that very menial task that probably doesn't really impact my business that much. It's going to be like 1 or 2 emails that will impact my business, not going through my inbox. And so knowing that it takes an hour often, I'm going to deprioritize. I'm going to put it later in the day. I'm not going to do it as frequently. And if I know it takes an hour, then I can budget accordingly so I don't feel stressed and behind. So anyway, I thought I'd leave that with you guys. Let me know, leave a comment. Let me know if it was helpful at all. And let me know how you plan your day or how you manage to not feel stressed and overwhelmed while working for yourself. Thanks.